Okay, this is one where I'm recording from directly from my YouTube application to see if it downloads faster. This is the third one. It's the second, no, it's the third one I do with the video camera, with a cell phone. And let's see if there's anything else I wanted to add from. Um, these are all notes to self because I'm learning how to use YouTube. If anybody can wants to help, jump in and help me learn how to use YouTube, you're more than welcome to comment and give me some tips on how to be proficient, how to use the creator and everything. I was thinking there was something else I wanted to say about that lingered in my mind about what happened on Facebook. And I'm not saying necessarily that there is Facebook something odd and irregular is happening because I can tell by the items that are chosen to suspend me with the fact that I report somebody who's calling me a pedophile, a criminal, a woman beater. For 2 years I've been bullied by these British people from the Falkland Malvinas groups, and they don't get suspended. Actually, they have fake accounts. They have several fake accounts, and the Argentinians, on the other hand, they get suspended. They get harassed. They are at a disadvantage because they don't speak English, and so they're at a lower metabolism, sort of say, and the English just kind of came into these groups and ruined them. They don't let anything get talked about. They always impose their discourses, and they mock and they belittle and they laugh and they try to demoralize the Argentinians who come in trying to make sense all the time, with their bad English, and try to and hope that somebody will care to try to make an even discourse. Anyways, it's really a sad situation in these groups on Facebook. Um, and I've been in them for about 5 years, and I've seen how they started. I've seen how people, especially there were some good Argentinians. The British are more or less the same kind, except a couple that have come in that are scandalously um, stand out, but more or less the same demeanor. Uh, as soon as they get put in a position where things they don't want to hear about the conflict, the start of the conflict gets said, they become very um, in, entrenched in a sort of fighting logistic of not of just knocking you down. And the Argentinians, I can tell they are more saying no, but I know this fact, and this is true. Why can't you accept that this really happened? And so they're more like trying and hopeful. And this really broke my heart in the beginning because I could see that the Argentinians really believed, sort of like me, that they could use Facebook to actually, which would be a wonderful thing for the world if you think about it, that the common populations of the planet, of countries, citizens, and people started using these social medias to run many ideas without all the constraints of a political governmental protocol and things that you can or government politically correct or what have you, but really talk about a lot of things and run a lot of ideas and experiment the workings of new ideas with with the common intention of finding a resolution to international problems. And nobody seems to see the great potential in that. It's unbelievable. Nobody sees that we could be finding an end to the conflict in Palestine, the Falklands, in Afghanistan, and um, you know, um, Ukraine, with Crimea, with the islands of Japan, with everything. Everything could, Tibet, could be talked about by hundreds of people on social networks. And brilliant ideas could start getting processed and developed. But people don't see that. It's almost like we're in a world that we're hurting and we have too much need just to be recognized. And validated, and then when we have a little bit of power, we make ourselves feel better by mistreating people that we're never going to meet. We bully people that are never going to be able to get back at us because they're on the other side of the screen, and these pathetic dead ends get end up being the usage of social networks. It's so tragic. Um, but So, anyways, I kind of lost faith in thinking that Facebook could work for this. And, and yes, it's true. It's mainly because these British men, they're, they are thinking very belligerently and as far as how to tackle the social manner of these exchanges. And so it's almost like they got to win the war, and they don't let you come up to breathe. And that may be perceived this way in part because it's an English environment and the Argentinians don't speak English. They try to the best they can, and so it really it's kind of the ball is on the British side, a court of the groups, and they don't see what I'm talking about. They don't see what I'm saying, obviously. Uh, and if they did, they would have to make the concerted effort of um, of saying, "Hey guys, you know, thank you for speaking our language. Let's try to find a resolution that is good for Argentina, for the Islanders, and for Britain here." They would have to make that move. They're not. I don't think they're gonna. Well, whatever. It's almost like I realize that it's asking a little bit too much from the average mentality in the world. But I think it's a real shame that people don't see that the potential of social networks. It's unbelievable. I don't understand how they don't see it. I don't understand how that is not seen. They don't. I guess they don't care that children are die in bombs. They don't. People are. Um, we talk about being desensitized and a bunch of things that explain why we are detached. We see war on papers, and we don't feel the gravity, the graveness of it, the gravity, the graveness of it. Um, but it's not that hard, really. I mean, it's not that hard to make a little effort and realize the horror it must be to be in your house and knowing that there's a foreign troops are took over your town and you're scared. You got to stay inside your house. These are not unimaginable situations. The people are living different scenarios of terror in their house. That shouldn't be so hard to imagine. It's hard to, and you hear some of these guys, some of these British guys that they sound like they just came back from war and they're, oh, they just think it's a game. It's not a big deal. And I realize it's because they're jaded. Half of these guys are military personnel, and they think it's a game. They got to beat the Argentinians and don't let them come up for air. And so, anyways, they've been suspending me. I got suspended 4 times already in a row. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if there's somebody inside working with them on the inside of Facebook, or if they have there's some kind of they're hackers, that they're able to work and so get in there in cyberspace and do whatever, or if there's oh yeah, I just remember I would what I wanted to say before I went into that little speech. Um, you know, I've been suspended for things that they could have suspended me on things that are more that I actually posted maybe 2 days ago. Not because they're breaches of rules, but because you could construe them as something that maybe is they've done it already. That is anti-gay, for example. I'm not anti-homosexuality or anti-gay or anything like that. I believe that we should have as cultures, as societies, the freedom to go in and leave homosexuality. But of course, if you say, I realized I'd rather have not lived homosexually, it means it entails a whole lot of explanations that intellectually and psychologically and social civilly they don't exist today because of how we've created the subject socially. So, anyways, I've been some of my activism had to do with opening our minds and saying, uh, it. anyways, I don't want to explain it, but that was one of my subjects, and it was misconstrued as being anti-gay, racist, whatever. And these guys would just, you're a racist, you're a hater. I've been given hell. You wouldn't believe the hell I've been given on Facebook by these guys for the past 5 years. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's like they all look, I'm the only moving target in Facebook. And if it's not that I'm a pedophile, I'm this, but they do it not because they believe it. This is what what we know, what is obvious. They laugh at it. They know that they're escalating it to try to get a rise out of you, and so they make it like sort of like a comedy. Like, oh, you say something that they double it up and they make it sound. Oh, so what you mean is that you actually like this or that. And look, everybody, he actually likes this or that. And so they double it up and to infuriate you, but it is not devoid of actual harm. This is the problem I'm having with Facebook, is that it is actually real harm because people come in that don't know you and take coming into the group a real experience of getting to know somebody new and maybe someday getting to know you personally. And their introduction to you is what these people are saying about you. They don't care. They mock it, they laugh at that, they think they're beating you, that they're not going to let you make your point. And in reality, they're causing a lot of harm. Uh, and Facebook doesn't seem to care about that. And I've gotten suspended again. Um, for whatever reason, and maybe in a strange way, somebody in Facebook is trying to protect me, perhaps because I get really angry and I start really sounding like I hate Britain or something like that. And I talk about the old empire and how they're ruthless to make a point to saying these are the same people that did all this. What makes you think that they're like nice fairies trying to take care of the Falklanders? When in reality, a world of history shows consistently that they have been this way with, throughout history. So come to terms. Don't bullshit us. Is kind of what the point of that is. But they've taken that into saying that I'm a British hater. That's a lie. And this kind of slander is very damaging. And I think that maybe, perhaps, what is happening in Facebook is that they suspend me either outside of Facebook, from within, or wherever for something that is inconsequential, just to get me to stop building up, escalating, or maybe because they see that I'm taking a direction that is maybe somebody in Facebook believes in me and says, take him out for a month until he calms down. I don't know what is happening. Who knows? I know that they got in deep water when they tried to, I've written to them about this, that they're wanting to control human behavior and how we talk to each other and what this means or what that means. Is that offensive? Is that an insult? Is that assaulting? Is that racist? Is not racist? Is it, these things, it's like getting into what they call in Spanish a shirt of seven sleeves, because it makes you even more, it's prone to making you more judgmental than you start off being already by thinking that something like that can work. And across the internet, when you don't, context is everything. Context is, how can you judge anybody when you don't know why they reacted and typed what they did on. This is a huge problem, I believe, we're having in the States, or internet controls. Like, you want to go after people that say certain things, but they don't actually say them. They type them. What does that mean, that they type them? It means that they are thinking, I'm gonna type this for whatever reason. So they're not judging that reason. They're judging the letters that they see on the screen. And I think that, again, we've gotten into a really messy area there by trying to judge and condemn people for what they're saying. Maybe they're just wanting to get a rise, or they trying to, or they feel it's only fair, and they feel it's inconsequential, or maybe they're saying it because they want to see if those people are real or not, if they react to it, or who knows what the intentions for the people that. So it's also a very tricky area. But what I'm getting at is that I suspect, again, I took a tangent there. What I suspect is that maybe um, they can't, rather than make an issue, a serious issue about something I've written and say and get into the gay civil rights thing or the terrorism, if it's because I've made announcements to Facebook that one person's group is trying to seed insurrection in Argentina by creating as a suggestion that a certain part of its territory needs to be split off and a new country created out of it. And I think that is really grave. I think that it's unbelievable that Facebook overlooks this. It's terroristic, and the irony that we have created laws, anti-terrorist laws, and then we ourselves do things that if somebody from jihad did it and they created a group saying Mexicans come and join us so that we can break off California, they would consider it terrorism. But that these guys make a group about Patagonia, it should be its own nation or whatever. Oh no, no, it's okay because they're British. It's not really terrorism. The British cannot be terroristic. No, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing as if somebody from Syria, made a group to try to break Quebec off from Canada. They're trying to seed insurrection. Let's hang them, right? Oh no, but these guys can make a free Patagonia group, right? It's harmless. Well, anyways, I wrote to Facebook about this, and there's been no response. And so what I think is in my estimation, Facebook is rather preferring to not deal with a in our faces matters such as making a true discourse against encouraging homosexuality, perhaps instead of saying let's make it about understanding homosexuality and why it occurs in society and people's lives instead of making it a civil right, which was the course that we took in the 70s. And so now all of a sudden it's a civil right. It's something about our bodies. It's not a something, anyways. Since it's too serious, and I'm bringing this up because one time I posted something that happened in Britain about a Islamic couple getting married of guys, and coincidentally, that afternoon I got suspended for something that was about something completely different, something that I said 2 years ago. And so I'm thinking, maybe they just don't want to touch it. And the same thing happened yesterday. Um, I'm guessing, but you know what? I'm done with guessing because, of course, I'm never going to find out exactly. They're not going to approach me and say, okay, this is the scoop. This is really why this is what was happening. And, we can trust you. We can see that you're a mature person that will understand that we weren't having the easiest time in the world trying to figure out how to resolve this problem. I'm not going to think so highly of in such an elusive strata of my imagination, and I'm rather going to go to YouTube and do these videos and see if um, maybe I can create some conversations. I don't know. It's such a shame because Facebook, the way it's designed, it would be great. It can improve a whole lot of the little things here and there, but the way it moves, People can uh, go from groups to friendships to things, and it's a real social network, and it's being used, which is the most marvelous miracle in this era of communications, that this has actually captured about 1/5 of the world's population or something, uh, and yet it's mediocrely hit a plateau, which a lot of has been described in this video just made, that is about to be 20 minutes long. I'm gonna thank you for bearing and staying with me and all this tirade I just unleashed, and hopefully, yeah, hopefully I'll get some friends that will say, "Hey, I'm an expert. This is how you do it." I'm not very good at pushing myself, so I hope I stick to it. So long.